All right, today we are diving deep into Liz Moore's best-selling novel, The God of the Woods. This is a book that has absolutely captivated hundreds of thousands of readers, and we're here to figure out why. We're going to break down the central mystery, all the critical acclaim, and what makes this literary thriller so hard to put down. At its heart, this is a story about a void. A loss that doesn't just affect one family, but echoes through an entire community for decades. It's a mystery that seems to start in a single moment, but you quickly realize its roots go way back into the past. And let's be clear, this isn't just another thriller on the shelf. The God of the Woods is a genuine literary phenomenon. It's connected with a massive audience in a really powerful way. So what does that connection actually look like? Well, how about this number for you? Over 100,000 glowing reader reviews. That's just an incredible wave of enthusiasm, and it really shows you just how deeply this story has resonated with people.
And it's not just readers. The critics are completely on board. The book pretty much swept the major accolades. It won the prestigious Anthony Award, got named a best thriller by the New York Times, and even hit #1 on People magazine's Best Books of the Year list. The consensus is pretty overwhelming. This is a must-read.
So now that we get just how big of a deal this book is, let's dive into the story itself. What is the mystery at the center of it all? Okay, picture this. The summer of '75. You're at a camp deep in the Adirondack Mountains. The air is thick with the smell of pine and secrets. And then it happens. A 13-year-old girl named Barbara Van Laar vanishes from her bunk, just without a trace. But here's the twist. Barbara's disappearance isn't some random, isolated event. This is where the mystery gets so much deeper. Because 14 years earlier, her older brother, Bear, walked into those exact same woods and was never seen again. So you've got 2 disappearances, 1 family, 1 very haunting location. This double-layered mystery is exactly what makes the book a perfect literary thriller. It means you get that page-turning suspense of a classic thriller, but it's blended with these incredibly deep character studies, complex themes, and just beautiful writing you'd expect from literary fiction. It really is the best of both worlds. And that brings us to a really crucial point. While the vanishing is what drives the plot forward, the appeal of this book goes so much deeper. It's about more than just finding out what happened.
The novel is really a deep dive into what we inherit from our families. It's about the secrets they keep buried, the social and class divisions that quietly shape our towns, and ultimately the parts of ourselves that are passed down or maybe lost through generations of trauma and silence.
This quote from a reader just nails that feeling perfectly. The woods in this story aren't just a place. They're both a literal setting and a metaphor for all the hidden truths and unspoken grief that these characters are carrying around with them.
So, how does Liz Moore pull all this off? What are the specific things in her writing that have gotten so many people completely and utterly hooked?
Well, readers always seem to point to a few key things. First, the setting is just so immersive. The Adirondack woods practically become a character, both beautiful and seriously menacing. The story's also driven by this amazing group of complex, unforgettable women. Then there's the way Moore jumps between timelines to build suspense, revealing clues piece by piece. And under it all, there's this haunting emotional depth that just sticks with you.
And hey, if you're worried about the pacing, don't be. The master of suspense himself, Stephen King, gave it this very simple endorsement. Once this story gets its hooks in you, it is, in his words, impossible to put down. For a lot of readers, this comparison from NPR's Maureen Corrigan is the perfect way to understand this book. If you love that dark academia vibe, the atmospheric tension, and the intricate plotting of a book like The Secret History, then you are absolutely in for a treat.
So after all that, the big question remains, is this the right book for you to get lost in?
Well, let's break it down real simple. If you're a fan of the atmospheric mystery and The Secret History, you'll definitely find that here. If you were captivated by the buried family secrets in the Paper Palace, this is going to be right up your alley. And if you love psychological thrillers with complex female leads, like The Girl on the Train, then yep, this is for sure your next read.
Ultimately, The God of the Woods gives you so much more than just a puzzle to solve. It's a true literary escape that takes you deep into the woods, back into the past, and right into the fragile, complicated nature of memory itself. It's not just a book, it's an experience.
And that leaves us with one final, lingering question, one that's pulled right from the book itself. It's a question the characters face, and it's one that every reader is left thinking about long after they've turned that final page. Would you survive the woods, or would you get lost in them too?